I want you to answer one question, honestly, just to yourself. When was the last time you made a decision about your time, your energy, your own life, that had absolutely nothing to do with what someone else needed from you? Take a moment with that. If an answer came quickly, good. But if you had to search, if you went back further than you expected, if you're still looking, then what just happened inside you is exactly what Carl Jung spent his entire life trying to warn us about. The slow, invisible process by which a person disappears from their own life. And the most devastating part? You don't feel it happening. You have spent years being reliable, showing up, delivering, saying yes when you meant no, being strong when you wanted to fall apart, being available when you were already empty. And from the outside, your life looks fine, maybe even good, but there is a feeling that visits you in the quiet moments, when the house is still, when everyone has gone to sleep, when you are alone in a car with nowhere to be for 5 minutes. A feeling that sounds like a question. Is this actually my life, or is this the life I agreed to? Most people hear that question and immediately shut it down. They call it anxiety. They call it ingratitude. They call themselves weak for feeling it when their life looks fine on paper. But that question is not weakness. According to Carl Jung, it is the first moment your true self has been loud enough to interrupt the performance. Jung had a name for the version of yourself you show to the world. He called it the persona, from the Latin word for mask, and he was clear. The persona is not a lie exactly. It is something you built, carefully, intelligently, over many years, to be accepted, to be loved, to avoid the specific pain of being rejected for who you actually are. You learned young what version of you made people comfortable, what version earned praise, what version prevented conflict, what version was safe to show, and what version needed to stay where no one could see it. And you got extraordinarily good at it. So good that eventually, the mask stopped feeling like a mask. It started feeling like your face. And that is where everything breaks down. Not in your failures, not in your mistakes, not in the things that went wrong. In the things that went exactly right, but for everyone else. The career that makes perfect sense to everyone but you. The version of yourself that people love, that you have to remember to perform every single morning. The life that looks complete from the outside and feels hollow, the moment you are alone with it. Jung called this the cost of the persona. The energy spent maintaining a self built for others is energy stolen from the self that actually belongs to you. Here is the part that is uncomfortable to hear. Most of the people in your life don't actually know you. Not really. They know the persona. They know the reliable one, the agreeable one, the one who shows up and handles it, and never makes things difficult. And some of them, not out of cruelty, but simply out of habit, are depending on that version of you to never change. Because your consistency serves them. Your silence protects them. Your availability is something they have quietly built their entire expectations around. And when you begin to change, when you begin to return to yourself, some of these people will not celebrate it. They will call it selfish. They will say you have changed, as if that is an accusation. And maybe it is. Because you have changed, or more precisely, You are returning to something that was always there. Something that got buried under years of being exactly what everyone needed you to be. Jung said that the process of becoming who you truly are will always create distance from those who only knew who you were pretending to be. That is not a warning to stop. That is the price of coming back to yourself, and it is worth paying. Here is what nobody tells you about the moment you realize you have been living for everyone else. It is not a crisis. It is an arrival. The exhaustion you feel is not a sign that you are broken. It is the sound of a self that has been performing for so long, it is desperate to rest. And rest, real rest, does not come from a vacation. It does not come from a weekend or from finally getting everything done. It comes from the moment you stop pretending to be the version of yourself that everyone else is comfortable with. Jung called the process of returning to yourself individuation, becoming whole, not perfect, not fearless, not without pain, whole. And it begins with something almost embarrassingly small. One honest answer, instead of the automatic acceptable one. One moment where the question arrives, what do I actually want right now? And you stay with it. Actually stay with it. Instead of filling the silence with noise. You don't need to rebuild your life tonight. You don't need a plan. You don't need to be ready. You just need to stop being so fluent in everyone else's language and start getting reacquainted with your own. If something in this video landed somewhere real, if a line stopped you, or a moment made you look away, I want you to do one thing. Write in the comments right now. 3 words. I was here. Not for me, for you. Because naming this moment makes it real. Writing it makes it a choice. And choosing to be present in your own life, even just for this one moment, is how it begins. The next video continues this. We talked today about the recognition. The moment you realize the life you're living was never really yours. Next, we talk about what comes after that moment. What it actually looks like to start coming back to yourself without burning everything down to do it. I'll see you there.